Okay, so this is part two to the fantasy video I did earlier today. I need to add some things. I'm sorry about that. All right, so I was specifically talking about either like Tolkien-esque or what you call it, sword and sandals, which is a subgenre like Conan and Beastmaster are, or any type of Arthurian legend fantasy. And I think mainly I was talking about stuff in the theater and probably live action. So I was making a specific point, I guess, and it was just specifically about that because, again, the 80s had all kinds of live action, fantasy in the theater, theatrical releases, Beastmaster, Conan, Legend, Willow, Labyrinth. It goes on and on and on and on. That was less than half of it, probably. Okay, I think there was one called Dragon Slayer too, early 80s maybe. I can't remember exactly, but anyway, that was my point specifically, and it was like, and I remember I got this actually from reading an article in Entertainment Weekly or something years ago. Not that they're the arbiter of all truth or whatever, but this is a point that was sort of in the air at least, I think, for a while, because up until Lord of the Rings, other than what I'm showing here, Dragonheart, this is something that I think does fit my description. Came out in '96. Dragonheart, there's the title. And, okay, so that's one movie. There was maybe a couple more, but my ultimate point is what happened to the box office from the 80s to the 90s. And I'm not talking about The Mummy in the 90s. I'm not talking about, any other kind of, it had, to me, when I think fantasy, I'm not talking about a movie with fantasy elements. I'm talking about shit that is some straight up fantasy ass shit. The Dark Crystal, I would consider that high fantasy, and that's live action technically, even though it's Muppets, but it's not animated. These movies died, and when I was recording that video, I sort of realized mid-recording, that I think I realized this is probably what happened. I think the satanic panic of the 80s with D&D that made fantasy popular in the 80s, Dungeons and Dragons is what I'm talking about. I think the satanic panic involving that kind of, canceled out probably a lot of the fantasy genre in the box office for the 90s. And then Lord of the Rings finally came out in 99 or 2000. I haven't looked that up yet, but it was sometime around there. But again, I guess it's a very specific point. Yes, there was Hercules and Xena and some other stuff on TV, and Merlin was on TV. And I actually kind of forgot, to me, Merlin aired whenever it aired in parts, right? Like, it was a mini-series. Some people are talking about it in the comments like it was a movie. But maybe it was a movie, or it was edited into a movie later. So maybe we're all right. I don't know. I only saw it on TV, and I thought it was, really incredible. And I remember watching several nights in a row, I believe. So, and there were cliffhangers and stuff. So I don't remember it being a movie, but maybe it is now. I'll edit it into one thing. But so I agree. My point was a little unclear, and it was kind of all over the place. For further clarification, I recorded that video once before that, but my car was turned on. And when I record a TikTok with my car on, the audio sounds like complete shit in the TikTok video. My car kills the audio or something. So that was my second take of it, and I was rushing to get to work. And so I missed a couple things. This is not, it's TikTok. I get that it is a little bit, the point wasn't super clear, and I wasn't super clear with it, but that's why I'm making this second video. And but yeah, mainly when I think of fantasy, I'm not thinking of something that has fantasy in it. I'm thinking of something that is straight up to the core fantasy, and Dragonheart does count, but the stuff that's like the most fantasy, anything Tolkien, Wheel of Time, stuff like that, Harry Potter counts. Harry Potter fucking sucks, but it counts as fantasy. It's not 90s though, so it doesn't count in this. But yeah. Anyway, hopefully that's some clarification. Thank you.